The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
I'm about to do to you what Limp Bizkit did to music in the late 90s.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Here goes the last DJ.
Gentlemen, I wash my hands of this weirdness.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Kristian Fenix Radio Show. It is Tuesday, May 18th, where your daily dose of laughs and levity in a crazy, crazy world. I'm joined by my co-host, the Savage One, Mr. Tony Spark. Tony, how you doing today?
Hey, it started out a good morning, but right before the break, or right before we kicked on air, I made my tea and I, mixed in my honey, and then I gave it a little too much twirl, and then the mug tilted everywhere. So I spent the last 5 minutes cleaning up this big ass tea mess. So aside from that, dude, the Avs won last night, 4-1 against the St. Louis Blues. I'm happy. I can't complain. I'm alive. I'm awake. And they halted the construction outside. So we might get through the whole hour with no outside interference there. So that's good.
That would be nice. Yeah, they seem to like construction right as we start the show.
They do, man. It's kind of a pain in the ass. But how you doing this morning?
Doing pretty good. Got to bed early, slept in unintentionally a little bit this morning. But you know what? With the 1 hour show, it's a little bit easier to prep. So, I was able to roll in here and get things ready. And you know what? We're going to have an awesome show today. So let's go ahead and kick things off the way we do each and every day with a question for my co-host, Tony. You recently got back from Walt Disney World. Have you ever gotten lost or misfound your way through a ride?
Oh, boy. I guess not a ride at not a Disney or anything like that, but I would say as a kid, like those old carnivals that would show up at your local town, the old school mazes, you go into the maze with the glass window. I know it's designed to do that, but maybe that when I was a kid.
Okay. All right.
As an adult, I haven't had that issue, but as a kid, I'd say that.
I always thought it would be strange to get stuck in one of those. And then, of course, overnight they kind of pack up and move on. And, you end up in the next town over because you can never find your way out of the maze.
Oh, that'd be creepy. Yeah.
Well, all that
horrifying to think about.
All that goes to say that Helena Mulvey on TikTok was excited about her upcoming trip to Walt Disney World. While thinking about her future trip, it sparked a memory an unbelievable time at Disneyland in 2019 that she just had to share with her followers. Helena and her sister were about to enjoy a zippity-doo-dah day aboard Splash Mountain. The two boarded the log flume and were on their way through the ride when suddenly it broke down and a cast member instructed them to get off. For many Disney guests who have been through this evacuation process, we know that cast members will ensure that the guests follow instructions and safely exit the ride in a timely manner. However, Helena and her sister say they experienced something a bit different. And this is from her. Says, I'm going to Disney World tomorrow. My sister and I were just talking about this story today when we went to Disneyland in 2019 and we got lost inside of Splash Mountain. The ride broke down. The cast member came over. She was like, everybody get up and go to the right. And there was no further instructions. We ended up at the top of Splash Mountain and all the people down below were looking up at us. And then we somehow ended up under the ride. 10 out of 10 recommended. One good thing to remember is that if you are ever stuck on an attraction and cast members are in the process of evacuating guests, it is important to note that you should always follow the cast members' instructions when evacuating attractions and be aware of your surroundings so that you can remain safe as you exit the ride. But yeah, it sounds like they just, took a right, maybe when they should have taken a left, ended up at the top of Splash Mountain, which would be awesome to see sort of the inner workings of these rides. But yeah, can't say that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, never had that problem where I've had to get off of an attraction at Disney. I've been on rides that have broken down at Disney, but never anything that you've had to actually evacuate on. So
now, one that I did, not necessarily evacuate, but when you're on Space Mountain and you pull up, and right before you get onto the ride itself, so you're already strapped in, they pull you up. There's that piece of glass in front of you with some cast members. It looks like they're checking a few things, and then they take you off. Well, at one point we were there, and there was a very large family also on the ride. And instead of going to the right to go onto the ride, they diverted us off to the left, and they had to redistribute the weight.
Oh, wow.
So
see, and that's a hidden secret alone. I didn't know that, like, if it diverted, but if you've been on the ride enough, like you and I have, you would be like, this isn't normal. Is this a new addition?
Yeah. No, it was definitely not normal. And I guess because I was asking a cast member afterwards, if there's too much weight, there's a fear that our car would catch up to the car in front of us, and that could cause problems. So yeah, that's why they had to redistribute it.
Ooh, well, I guess it's not a bad idea.
Yep.
Yikes. Yeah.
Well, folks, it is Tuesday. We've got a wonderful show lined up for you today. Let's talk about today's show, shall we?
It is Taco Tuesday!
Woo! It is Taco Tuesday. And today we've got ridiculous TV and movie tropes. We round out the day with This Day in History. And up next, being that it's Tuesday, we've got Animal Tales sponsored by RoughRiders.org.
I like turtles.
Folks, do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Behold my precious. Ooh, let me tell you something right here. It's the Loot Crate subscription box, yeah, full of exclusive loot, fun surprises delivered to your door every month.
Just pick up your favorite geeky genre, Daddy.
From the original Loot Crate, the Loot Crate DX collectible boxes, dude. Cowabunga!
To the Loot Gaming video game box.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!
Wowzers! With crits starting as low as $11.99 per month, there's a box just about for all collectors. To get your geek on, head over to phoenixmedia.us/Loot Crate and claim your exclusive offer. That's FENIX.us/Loot Crate. Great Scott!
Snap into a Loot Crate, dig it?
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show. We've got a little thing we talk about a couple times each show. It is the Fenix Line, our 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week voicemail line, giving you guys, the listeners and watchers, an opportunity to chime in on anything whatsoever. Maybe you got lost at a theme park or in a ride itself. We want to know about it. Give us a call at 855-FENIX-RADIO. That's 855-FENIX-RDO or 855-336-4973. All we ask is that you keep it entertaining. We'll compile those together, put them out in a future show. Now, it is Tuesday, and as we do on Tuesdays, we like to look at Animal Tales, sponsored by roughriders.org. Now, Rough Riders is a local 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the transport of dogs from the rural outlying shelters where they may not have a chance, bringing them here to the local metro Reno, Northern Nevada area, working with local shelters and rescues to find them homes, give them a second chance at life. If you want to know more about Rough Riders, head over to roughriders.org. That's RUFF Riders.org, or on Facebook at facebook.com/Rough Riders Saves. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and explore those animal tales.
Dogs and the cats, they take up the middle where the honeybee hums and the cricket fiddles, the donkey brays and the pony neighs, the old gray badger sighs.
Listen to the bass, it's the one on the bottom where the bullfrog croaks and the hippopotamus moans and groans with the big to-do, and the old cow just goes moo.
And the old cow just goes moo. Now, we don't have any... We don't have any stories about cows today, but let's go ahead and kick off with this first one. Ratna, a 17-year-old Sumatran tiger, lives at the Shepworth Wildlife Park near Cambridge, UK. Staff noticed her left eye, which had previously had a cataract removed, was deteriorating, and a corneal ulcer was diagnosed by a specialist eye vet. Corneal surgeon, corneal surgery, which is not uncommon on domestic cats and dogs, required a lot more anesthetic on Ratna. Surgeon Dr. David Williams from the Queen's Veterinary School Hospital at the University of Cambridge said after 2 months of careful monitoring, he was delighted to be able to sign Ratna off as fully healed. The tiger had cataract surgery before she and her daughter were moved to the wildlife park in early 2019 to live out their twilight years. Because she needed daily eye drops, the health of her left eye was being closely monitored by staff. An initial operation carried out in early February to treat a discoloration did not have the desired effect, and her eye continued to deteriorate. Dr. Williams, who went to Shepworth to check on the ulcer, said, "I think perhaps she'd managed to jab her eye on a stick of bamboo in her enclosure." The very next day, together with Steve Phillip, a vet from the International Zoo Veterinary Group, he carried out what is believed to be the world's first operation on a big cat. On a world first operation. Obviously, they've done more than that. The hood graft procedure involved a flap of conjunctiva, the pink of the eye secured over the cornea, which allows the cornea to heal itself, said Dr. Williams. It's like we might do with a domestic cat, but with a lot more anesthetic, he said of the 30-minute operation. But I don't think anyone ever done it before in the species. Ratna's favorite pastime is sitting on the top platform in her enclosure, but the park's director, Rebecca Willers, said before the operation she seemed to have become a little uncertain about getting down again. Her coordination seems much better now, and the best thing is the operation has eradicated the need for Ratna to have eye drops, and she was never keen on those anyway, she added. So, yeah, it goes back. Oh, man. I had pulled up a sound bite for just this bit. Obviously, Survivor's Eye of the Tiger. And I forgot to save it in the soundboard.
So when you hit the button, nothing happened, right?
Nothing happened.
Oh, okay. So then this is where we'll just fill that in.
I like turtle.
It's not quite a tiger, but
Yeah. Best laid plans. Best laid plans of mice and men. Oh well.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's move on with our next story in Animal Tales. All right. This one, after a long day at work, there's nothing better than running yourself a hot bath and taking a long, relaxing soak. But one woman's plan to hit the tub was rocked by a nasty surprise she found waiting for her hidden in her trap. TikTok user Lucy shared a video online of her investigating her tap. Well, I'm telling you, words are hard today.
It is a tough, and it's not even Wednesday yet.
I know. After noticing creepy black wires hanging out of it. But what she thought was wires actually left her traumatized as she discovered it was, in fact, a huge spider that had wedged itself inside. So I saw these things sticking out of the bath tap, she said, as she moved the camera up toward the tap to reveal the spider hanging right on the edge of the faucet, leaving her shocked. Oh my God, she wrote, before then turning on the taps to get the spider to budge. As the water started to come out, the huge spider came with it and was left in the bath, horrifying those watching as thousands commented on the video that has since gone viral. I would have died, said one person, while another wrote, my heart would have stopped. Others joked that they were waiting for the spider to jump out at the camera, with some even refusing to watch until the end of the video. They were so traumatized. I was waiting for the jump. I couldn't even look at it anymore, said one person. The fourth posted, me laying in the bath, poking my toe up in the tap. Nope, never again. For some, the thought of this happening to them was a little too much to handle. One viewer joked, I'm never having a bath again. That is one of my biggest fears, and obviously stemmed from the movie probably Arachnophobia, and there was that scene where she's in the shower doing the hair, and the spider comes, and luckily it didn't bite her; it slipped all the way down. But I would
be happy to know that I flicked the spider off my counter as I was cleaning the tea mess. So just for you, buddy, I flicked him. You would have freaked out on Saturday when I was over at Jim and Renee's house. Their daughter Mulaney, big spider lover. She has all kinds of little tanks and things and little colored spiders. There's blue spiders, tarantulas. Oh yeah, you would have loved that. You would have loved it. It was your own personal hell room.
Right.
Like you want to play a game? That's your room.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they're behind glass or in a terrarium, I'm cautiously okay. If they have the ability to get out or if they're free roaming, nope,
not happening. Well, in dual note, she also had a snake in there and in a thing. She's like, do you want to hold Kevin? Nope. I do not. I'm good.
Yeah, there would certainly be a Christian-sized hole in that wall over there.
I pictured the animated, very Warner Brothers-esque.
Well, let's keep moving on with our last story here in Animal Tales.
Ooh, I like that dog sound.
World famous gay penguin couple Sven and Magic have become dads for the second time after hatching another chick neglected by a straight couple. Sven and Magic, two male Gen 2 penguins at the Sea Life Aquarium in Sydney, found fame in October 2018 when they hatched their first chick after zookeepers noticed them attempting to hatch a rock and gave them a spare egg to look after. With their parenting prowess proven, they are now the zoo's go-to adoptive dads for eggs neglected by other penguin couples. Their first chick, Laura, nicknamed Svenjic, has now grown up and moved on to start a family of her own, but Sven and Magic are still as keen as ever to be part of a family and welcomed a second chick. The zoo told the Star Observer on Monday, if one of our pairs has too many eggs or are not good at looking after their eggs, we will sometimes foster these eggs out to the pairs like Sven and Magic. We gave Sven and Magic an egg to incubate as they have proven to be good parents in the past. Both dads and the new chick are doing well. Same-sex pairings are not uncommon among penguins, the zoo explained. Penguins, including Gentoo penguins, are among the many species in which male-male or female-female pairing occur frequently, and we are fortunate to have our own male-male pair. Just like our other Gentoo parents, Sven and Magic are attentive and incredibly caring, and we feel privileged to have such an amazing duo in our colony. The zoo added, Laura is now 2 years old and surprising us every day with how independent she is. Despite still being relatively young, she attempted to take part in this year's breeding season. She and her partner set up a nest and carefully watched over it, but unfortunately weren't successful in hatching an offspring. We look forward to seeing how she goes next year and whether she'll give Sven and Magic a little grand penguin chick. So, it reminds me of that Parks and Rec episode where Leslie Knope accidentally married the two male penguins, and then there was, the fallout from, the conservative side and the love on the liberal side of things, and all over just two penguins. Yeah,
Sven and Magic,
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.
They are the lover penguins. They like to foster your penguins because they're magically lovers. Sven and Magic, they're America's gay penguins.
So, start out with tiger eye surgery, move on to horrifying spider in the tap, onto a lovely story of two penguins who helped hatch eggs. So,
yes. I was also texted during that by Friday that Bella has held Kevin the Snake, and she is better than I am at that. So,
see, look,
kudos. Yeah, she's braver than I. That's
even Bella is braver than Tone.
I'm not holding the snake.
I don't blame you. Actually, I like snakes. But in any case, folks, that does it for Animal Tales. When we come back, we've got a segment called Ridiculous TV and Movie Tropes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Trope!
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. Indeed. This is the Kristian Fenix radio show, and we are all over social media with many of you watching us as we speak on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Now, you can also stream us on your smart TV or mobile device by simply downloading the ngbn.tv app. Just go to the Fenix Media channel there, and you can get this show and all the other great Fenix Media shows there as well. Now, if you want to get a hold of me on social, I'm available at facebook.com/Kristian Fenix Radio. That's Kristian with a K, Fenix with an F, radio, of course, with an R, or on Instagram and Twitter at Fenix Media Radio. Tony's available at facebook.com/Tony Spark. That's SPARK 81, or on Instagram at Tony.Sanfilippo81. Well, folks, this is a segment that we've done in the past, but, Tony and I are huge lovers of television and movies, and there are certain tropes that are almost difficult to look past. There's a phenomenon known as suspension of disbelief, which basically is, you're just sort of supposed to believe what's on screen for the sake of the story, even though parts of it may be unrealistic. But some are just too hard to overcome. And so that's what we're going to be exploring here on Ridiculous TV and Movie Tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Ooh, they're being held.
So this is one that always confounded me. One character hands another character a burner phone. The phones where, they're untraceable and they're supposed to be a one-way communication at some point. So one of the characters, keep this on you day and night. It rings, you better answer. The other character, okay, do you have the charger? The what? This phone, did it come with a charger? It's not USB. Hey, you're the one giving out phones. It's charged now. How did you charge it? Yeah, it's always that question of, somebody hands somebody else a burner phone. Well, unless you're calling them in the next 24 hours, that thing's probably out of juice by then.
Yeah, you would think. Yep. Good thinking on that one.
Moving on with ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Here's one that you always see. Women can be in the jungle for weeks and they don't have hair growing anywhere. Men immediately begin to grow a beard. And you see this in shows like Lost and, obviously Castaway, even though it was just Tom Hanks. But immediately the hair starts growing, which is probably a little more accurate than on the women's side who, after a few weeks would have bushy legs, bushy armpits, and, but they never show that in the TV and movies.
No, that would look really good. Walking Dead's another one.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, Walking Dead, they never look like their hair's growing stuff, I get, they eventually have to cover it because they do show them cutting and grooming, but you're right, they do grow things real fast, so.
The other one that always sort of blows my mind is in period dramas or even period pieces. We were watching the second Mummy movie the other day, the one with the Scorpion King. And of course, you had The Rock, who played the Scorpion King, and he had perfectly straight white teeth for somebody who existed in 2000, 3000 BC. Awfully good dental care there back
then, right?
Thousands of years ago, exactly.
It's that sexy white teeth all the way back to 1492. It be shiny and new.
Moving on with ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
This one, always funny. Young singles living in $1 million condos that overlook the city, especially in New York City. And, You know, you watch these like CW dramas, and these kids are living in these huge apartments in the middle of New York City that would cost $1 million or so to purchase. And they're conveniently renting it, or they're students, or that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. There's no way. You can barely afford that stuff.
Exactly.
Unless their parents are paying for it, then maybe.
Right. Well, and it's, the one thing that came to mind was that show Gossip Girl, where everybody there was incredibly rich. It's like, okay, that makes a little more sense, but not in most cases.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on. Ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Tony, if you're picturing a character in a movie walking down the street, they had just come to the grocery store, what would the groceries in their arms look like to you? What do you picture?
Oh, like with movie stars?
Not movie stars, but in movies, just sort of, the stereotypical somebody coming back from the grocery store.
They usually have a paper bag. They have like one paper bag with like some veggies and some bread. It's pretty cheesy. It's pretty basic. It's pretty basic, right?
So, as this one says, everyone has one paper bag for groceries that has a celery stalk and a loaf of French bread sticking out of the top.
Always.
I didn't even prompt you with that, and you nailed it almost to the T-tone.
That's what you see on the shows. Almost always.
Let's keep moving on. Ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Another one that I find funny related to phones. Somebody answers the phone, a character in the movie. Hello. They listen to the caller for one split second. What do you mean Tim got kidnapped by a drug cartel while he was shopping with his family in his trip to South America? They need a little bit more time to explain what's happening, given the fact that the response obviously indicated a much larger conversation.
Unless it's Mortal Kombat. We have to go because they've been taken to Nigeria. We must save them. We are on our way today.
Yeah, still a terrible movie. I consider
that's the kind of acting in it too.
Yeah.
That's the great thing.
We
will fight today for Earth Realm tomorrow. Kung Pao. Does that entice you to see it now?
Last night, as I was scrolling through looking for something to watch, I actually considered rewatching it just to be like, maybe I was slightly biased the first go around, and I couldn't force myself to do it.
Nah, you couldn't do it.
No. All right, let's keep rolling on, talking ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Here's one that, again, never understood. No one using a computer ever uses a mouse. It's just constant, frantic typing. Now, we've talked about in the past how, like, everybody is proficient typers and they can just, file a million words a minute. But they're right. Nobody ever uses the mouse.
Never. It's always just like that. You can't see it on the screen, but they're just typing away real fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, you get, some of the characters that in real life would be like the Hunt and Peck type.
Yeah.
And how they're proficient at typing. So.
Deleted.
Let's keep rolling on. Ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Whenever a simple miscommunication happens, no one ever stops and clarifies this with the other person. Like if one 10-second conversation can derail an entire plot thread, I'm not interested. It happens all the time. And obviously a lot of TV shows and movies utilize that miscommunication to drive the rest of the story. You see this in sitcoms a lot, which obviously, they sort of need that in order to create a story for that specific episode. But in real life, a small miscommunication like that would be cleared up in 10 seconds as opposed to, driving everything that happens to, for the rest of that story.
Right. They like to drag that stuff out a bit,
Exactly. And the example I like to use is, we've been catching up on the show Frasier, which is hilarious. It's a great show, well written, except for every other episode has to deal with some sort of miscommunication. It's like, how many miscommunications can you have, especially with psychiatrists who should be specializing in the ability to communicate?
Exactly.
I know that's a little bit part of it, but still, that's the only thing that bugs me about it. Let's keep rolling on. Ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Again, things that obviously they do for the screen, not for the sake of the story, but having highly confidential conversations about 4 feet away from the people they are talking about and not being overheard. And it happens all the time. Again, mostly in sitcoms where somebody pulls another character aside and, talks to them in a normal voice, doesn't even whisper when the other person's 3 feet away. And then they turn back to them and the other person's like, oh, what were you talking about? Doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. None whatsoever.
Moving on, ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Tony, in movies and TV, if a girl unexpectedly vomits or gets, physically ill, what would you say that the next plot point is?
Just usually the hands, and then it's like they make the noise, and then it's done.
But plot point, what does that usually indicate for that woman?
They're pregnant.
Exactly.
Yeah, almost every time.
If somebody hiccups on screen, what does that indicate?
They're drunk.
If someone coughs, black lung paw, what does that indicate?
They're faking.
Well, seriously ill. Obviously, I didn't give the best example.
Oh, gotcha. Well, like with the black lung paw, that was like, they're being over dramatic, like they're dying.
Right. But you nailed it. It's those tropes that everybody sees coming based on what ended up happening. All right, moving on. Ridiculous TV and movie tropes.
Hold on to your butts.
Tony and I are big. Well, I'm a big horror movie fan. Tony's a somewhat big horror movie fan.
I like it. It's not my always go-to though.
And they even alluded to this in Scream, but in horror movies, everyone runs upstairs. If there was something chasing you, you wouldn't head for the door to get outside. No, you're also creeped out in the house, but you never turn on a light. No, you just run upstairs.
Or what's even worse, they don't leave the damn house. If it's haunted, they don't get the hell out of there. They keep going back. They keep doing it. It's the same thing. And when the killer's around, that's another cheesy thing too. They can run and run, and the killer can move super slow, but the killer always catches them.
Always.
Like Friday the 13th is a great one. It's always the girl like full speed. And then she runs and runs, and here comes Jason. He's just walking. And then like the chick is probably like 2 miles ahead of him, trips, and then he's just right there.
Yeah, never made any sense. Obviously, they do that for the horror effect, but if you have your logical hat on, it's a little confounding. But in any case, folks, that does it for this segment. We're getting ready to head into the final segment of the show. You know what that means. It's time for This Day in History. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no. That's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison? Why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phoenixmedia.us. Get everything you need for the Kristian Fenix radio show over at phoenixmedia.us or on Facebook at facebook.com/Fenix Media Radio. Now back to the show. And we are back, folks, and we've made it to the final segment of this episode of the Kristian Fenix radio show. Now, if you missed a portion of the show or you want to go back and catch up on any of the previous shows, go ahead and head over to phoenixmedia.us, click on the show's link, scroll on down to the Kristian Fenix radio show. From there, you can get video, you can get audio as well, or head over to wherever you get podcasts. Apple, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, TuneIn, iHeart, Doozer, Dozer, Geezer, Gozer.
Are you a god?
No. While you're there, be sure to subscribe. That way you always have the latest episode. Leave a review, let us know what you think, and tell your friends, because why, Tony?
Hello there. Sharing is caring.
Hello there. Well, folks, we like to share. We like to care, which is why we do this segment each and every day. Drop a little knowledge on you. Hopefully make you laugh at the same time. It is time for This Day in History.
Traversing the globe for the stories that turn the world on its head. It's This Day in History with your correspondent on the beat,
Kristian Fenix.
Thanks, Siri. All right, and I think Tony's grabbing a prop because he looked ahead, maybe. But in any case, this day in 1593, playwright Thomas Kyd's accusations of heresy lead to an arrest warrant for Christopher Marlowe. Back in the time when you could accuse anybody of anything and typically ended up in death, getting your head chopped off, whatever it may be. But, they basically say that they took the Lord's name in vain, and that was the last you saw of your neighbor.
Hey, heresy! There's an arrest for you, heresy!
Moving on, this day in 1631, John Winthrop is elected the first governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. And look at that nice little frilly collar around his neck. And, I guess Massachusetts was a fancy place back then.
This is my frilly frill right here. I like it, and as I have to say is I will be a good governor. Very.
Moving on, this day in 1803, Britain declares war on France after Napoleon Bonaparte continues interfering in Italy and Switzerland. The only reason he was interfering is because he wanted to make sure there was a Pharaoh's where he could get his Piggly Wiggly trough.
Excellent!
How's it? One little prop.
There we go. Moving on, this day in 1812, John Bellingham, a Liverpool merchant who assassinated British Prime Minister Spencer Perceval, I'm telling you, words are hard today, on May 11th, is hung for the crime at the Old Bailey in London.
He's just dead.
He's dead, yeah. Moving on, this day in 1896, the Kodinka tragedy. Russian words are hard. Words are hard enough as it is.
The Kodinka tragedy, Kodinka field in Moscow.
A mass panic on Kodinka Field, Moscow, during the festivities of the coronation of Russian Tsar Nicholas II results in the deaths of 1,389 people. I want more to this story. I want to know what were they panicking over and how did almost 1,400 people die as a result?
Was it like the White Wedding in Game of Thrones or the Red Wedding? It was the Red Wedding.
Would have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage is not happy with your decision, yeah.
Here's something I didn't know, a little bit of Disney-related sort of history. This day in 1897, Paul Dukas' symphonic Shiro, boy, words are really hard today, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, used in Disney's Fantasia film premieres, based on a poem by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. So, I knew it was a classic piece. I didn't realize that it was actually called The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
That's awesome. I didn't either.
Yeah, and probably
very famous one from Fantasia with Mickey and the sorcerer's hat and all the buckets or the brooms, and they're walking with the water pails. Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've seen that movie, but the only two I remember are that one and the Demon on the Mountain, which was Fall of the Mountain King, and I don't remember much else about Fantasia.
I don't either. I know there was a Sega Genesis game of it.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you played as Mickey, the little sorcerer, the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yep. Well, let's move on. This day in 1897, Herbert Henry Dow founds Dow Chemical in Midland, Michigan. Of course, Dow, everything from very dangerous chemicals all the way to, household cleaning products that we use every day. So without him, we wouldn't
be able to combat the
coronavirus.
He created with all those chemicals, he's able to get the Clorox wipes, which kills COVID in 15 seconds.
Yeah. So he's the one we have to thank and or accuse of, maybe some other things as well. But
guess what, bitch?
I just want to play one more time.
Moving on, this day in 1912, the Philadelphia Athletics beat the Tigers 24-2, who use amateurs in protest at Ty Cobb's suspension from the game. Could you imagine, your big league baseball team, the players end up protesting and they have to bring in just random people off the street to play for them? How awesome would that be?
They're
Rocky for a day, Tone.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. I'd probably contribute more than some. It's not true. It's the weirdest thing. They've got some good pieces, but they lose all the time. Now, this is crazy because the Tigers were super bad back then, too. Mm-hmm. And, it's just crazy because the future Las Vegas Athletics beat the hell out of them.
I like where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Let's keep rolling on.
I'm rooting for it into existence.
Yeah. This day in 1952, Professor W.F. Libby says Stonehenge dates back to 1848 BC. Obviously, thousands of years old. People don't know exactly what it was used for. Could have been a giant celestial clock. It could have been put there by aliens. Who really knows? All I know is that there was a fantastic song created about it by the iconic band Spinal Tap.
Yeah. It is crazy how that is at Easter Island and all that. It's just how these stones got there. So
a lot of unexplainable things that would be difficult to do in this day and age, let alone thousands upon thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago, I'm not sure how they would have done that because those are freaking huge stones. That's for sure.
That they are. Speaking of freaking huge stones, this day in 1956, Mickey Mantle hits a home run from both sides of the plate for a record third time. Yeah.
Nice.
What a great baseball player. And I've always envied switch hitters. I'm right-handed, so I hit one way, and I've tried left-handed, but never quite the same.
Yeah. I was actually able to do good both right and left. Like right's my dominant one, but I could do really well left. I used to piss people off in softball because I would do at every bat I'd throw them off because I bat one way and then do the other. Hey. And then as I got older, obviously I wasn't as good at it. So
yeah. Oh, I miss softball. That was fun.
Yeah, it was good times.
Moving on, this day in 1965, Ray Dolby founds Dolby Laboratories in London, England. I would assume, and again, it doesn't expand on that, but that this is the Dolby behind sound systems.
Yeah.
Especially when you go to the movies and you enjoy that Dolby Atmos surround, where it's that atmospheric coming at you from all sides and over the top. Just a brilliant, brilliant sound company.
Oh, if Dolby is top-notch sound.
Absolutely. Moving on, this day in 1980, Mount St. Helens erupts in Washington state, causing the largest landslide in history, killing 57 people and costing $1 billion in damage. And I don't think I realized that Mount St. Helens had erupted as early as, or as recently as 1980.
Right. Well, because we haven't had a big volcanic eruption in our lifetime.
Yeah, at least not in the U.S.
No, that was just a year before us. So,
yep.
Crazy.
All right. This day in film history, this day in 1995, Braveheart, directed by Mel Gibson and starring Mel Gibson and Sophie Marceau, premieres at the Seattle Film Festival. Obviously went on to win Best Picture in 1996. Fantastic film. And of course,
great.
Mel Gibson had his falling out for his anti-Semitic rant, but, he's making a little bit of a comeback now.
Yeah, that was a great movie. Back then in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, he was a huge actor. Yep. Nowadays, he's kind of like, no offense to Travolta or Nick Cage, but he's kind of those more direct-to-video type flicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, this day in 2001, DreamWorks Pictures' Shrek, starring Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz in voiceover roles, debuts. And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
That was a great movie. Actually, all of them were really good. The original was probably the best, but they were all really good.
Yep. And then finally, before we head out for the day, let's run down some of today's holidays, where we talk about the things that we like to celebrate. For instance, today is National Dinosaur Day, so go out and get yourself a dinosaur. It is I Love Reese's Day. Both
Reese's are good. Yeah.
And the chocolate. It is International Museum Day. It is National Visit Your Relatives Day, if you can.
Okay.
It is Mother Whistler Day, that famous picture. It is National Cheese Souffle Day.
Ooh.
It is National Stress Awareness Day. It is No Dirty Dishes Day. And it is Send an Electronic Greeting Card Day. So send that e-card, give somebody some Reese's, and visit a relative. And, join us back here tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, when words are hard, at least more so than today. See y'all then, folks.
Go Avs, go.